Hello everyone and welcome back for some Angels with Scaly Wings. And, my PC might have rebooted without me, apparently. Give me just a moment. So, just a bit of a heads up, if for some reason the stream ends abruptly, it may not be coming back because the PC will have most likely just rebooted on its own. The worst part about Windows 10 and my PC here specifically, not specifically claiming Windows 10, is that it kind of makes my PC unstable without my knowing about it. Alright, so we have left off having completed Remy's good end, and we have not actually started any of the other stories yet. So, from Discord earlier, I have had one request to go with a Dean over here, and just now in the chat there's a request for Bryce. And it seems that there is only the one viewer right now, and the dice have said to go with Bryce, so that's fine. If there is any other requests, and viewers for that matter, before we get to the choice, we'll be going with Bryce. Relatively, Bryce should be very easy. He has a very simple trigger. At this point, I'm not going to be... We already have all the triggers. What I'm going to be specifically doing in each of the good ends are to show the actual trigger for how to get the good ends. So, that being said, you always skip the intro from Humanity's State, going through the portal, meeting Remy, taking you to your apartment here. You're going to be starting the prologue, so you'll at least meet Reza and figure out what's going on each time, so you'll be able to recap yourself on that. The trigger is also fortunately in this chapter. So, for Bryce, just a early heads up, I awoke from an uneasy dream, looking at an unfamiliar ceiling. Just for a moment, I wondered where I was before the events of last night all came back to me. After a good stretch, I looked around the room, illuminated by the sunlight coming in from the window. Outside, in the distance, the portal I had emerged from proudly stood on the peak of the small hill. Getting ready, I noticed something lying on the table. It was the note that Remy had left for me in case I needed anything. Along with his own home phone and work number, there were also some numbers for delivery of food and other necessities, as well as emergency and even janitorial services. He had certainly thought of everything, even though I now had to wonder what a dragon plumber might look like. That is actually kind of a good question. My musings were interrupted when the doorbell rang. When I opened the door, I was met by another dragon. So it turns out you've seen this before. Either you could watch this again. Well, I'm pretty sure that Raven would like to see this, because I'm pretty sure Raven has not seen this. I'm just going on a limb here, Raven. So here's Sebastian. Hello, you must be Cabbage. I'm Sebastian. I'll be your escort, or security, I suppose. Usually I work for the police, though. Nice to meet you. He seemed a lot smaller than Remy, and when he was somewhat nervously extended his arms towards me, I noticed he apparently only walked on his hind legs. The two forelimbs, instead of having distinct arms, had hands and fingers. So, we can basically otherwise skip through this if you like. Otherwise, I can leave it open to you if you want to shake his hand, not shake his hand, or kiss his hand. And for your reference, the early chapter here, the pre-everything stuff, is mundane and irrelevant, basically. We can do whatever we like here. There is only one trigger specifically for Bryce that we need to catch, or technically should catch because we already have it. And another trigger in... if you have had talked to Anna, had a date with her twice. Shake him? Alright. When I took his hand into mine to shake it gently, I could feel the individual bumps and scales on his rough skin. Nice to meet you too, Sebastian. So, where are you taking me? Straight to business, eh? We're going to visit the plant where they're making your generators. They have some news for you, or so I've heard. Reza will be there too. Sounds great. Just follow me. While we walked, I was under the impression we were purposefully avoiding the busier parts of town, instead of straying towards the edges and small alleys as to not garner too much attention. Even then, we got the occasional stare. After a couple of minutes, we arrived at our destination, where we were met by Reza, as well as yet another dragon, a vicious-looking beast that didn't stay too close to him. So that's Maverick and Reza, and yeah, I suppose it would be safe to say that both of them will be very important towards the end. Hey! Reza! Long time no see! How true that is. Good to finally see another human face around here. What a coincidence to have you, of all people, show up. Yeah, I guess those degrees aren't so useless after all. By the way, who's your friend? Just my bodyguard, same as yours. Don't bother with him, he doesn't talk much. Alright, so, if you want to make the choice, you can bet that he would win a fight against ours, Sebastian. Say that he looks grumpy, or just like him. What's the context again? He doesn't talk much, so just like him. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking exactly that. Very funny. Okay, so it was a joke. The two dragons exchanged a few words, and as I met the gaze of the larger tenebrous dragon, a few paces from us, Sebastian turned towards me and spoke up again. Hey, Cabbage, this is Maverick. Nice to meet you. Yeah, whatever. Just don't expect me to give you any special treatment like everyone else's, and we'll be good. What are you talking about? So you're saying you haven't noticed the stairs and how they all treat you like you're the next messiah or something? No, I just thought... We're not the ones making a big deal out of this, you are. We're just here to get what we agreed on and then we'll be gone. If anything, I'd actually prefer if you let us go alone. But you're the ones who insist on following me around wherever I go. A growl escaped the darker dragon's trembling lips as he bared his teeth at Reza. Alright, that's quite enough. Let's just all go inside already, shall we? After you. The crisis was quickly averted as we entered the building, which was characterized by its many floors, high ceilings, and long, narrow hallways, as Sebastian led us to our destination. There you are, I was waiting for you. So here we have Anna, the biologist. Red eyes take warning. Wait a minute, I thought you were going to meet the guys from production. What are you doing here? They're only coming in later today, so you'll just have to make do with me. I see. Well, Cabbage, this is Anna. She kind of manages this building, though actually she's more involved with the research wing rather than production and engineering. Nice to meet you. My pleasure. I have something for you, by the way. It'll take them a while to make all the generators we promised, but we've got one for you here. Feel free to send it home and give it a test. That's great, I'll take that. Looks a little small if you ask me. Don't underestimate its power. Oh, and do be careful not to drop it. Sure, I'll be waiting outside while you do your thing, Cabbage. I suppose I'll wait for you outside as well. What thing? Oh, have you brought the PDA? Of course, here you go. Alright. Now to give this thing a test run. The PDA lit up in her hand, swiftly moving around its interface in calculated motions. By the way, would you consider letting me run some tests on you as well? It would only take a drop of your blood. What? Why? I work in biology, so obviously this kind of thing would be very interesting to us. I'd share the results with you, of course. Right now, I am going to say yes, because, again, this is one of the triggers, and specifically, you can see a little drop of blood here. It will be further added on in Anna's second date scene. Great. She was quick to produce a small device from a drawer, which, from a glance, reminded me a lot of a test tube. Now, if you would give me your hand, please. And that smirk. Give me your hand, please. As I reached out to her, she took my hand into hers before she pressed the device into the back of my hand. I winced as pain jolted through my hand. Something sharp drove itself through my skin. Shortly afterwards, a droplet of blood was sucked into the tube attached to the small needle. Thanks. You're welcome? Looks like your PDA is good, by the way, so we're just about done here. And since we're both in biology, it could be interesting if you want to meet me some other time as well. Here's my number. Alright. See you soon. Well, that was interesting. Did she ask you for your blood too? Yeah. Did you give it to her? Now again, this is a very mundane choice, but you can answer truthfully, yeah, or you can just tell them, nah. So, whichever you prefer. No? Alright. Me neither. I mean, if we're going to give them our body, let's not do it for free, right? Sure. I'm getting hungry. How about some breakfast? I'm all for it. I can't stand early mornings like this. That shouldn't be a problem. There's a cafe not far from here. What do you say, Mavers? I wouldn't mind to grab a bite myself. That settles it then. So it turns out you've seen this before. Yes, we have. As you wish. Luckily for us, the cafe was mostly empty when we arrived, as it was still pretty early in the day. Reza was quick to lead me to a table for two, prompting the dragons to get one of their own at the other side of the restaurant. Ugh, finally, I can't stand that guy being on my tail all the damn time. Alright, so, they do say it's for our own security, or it does seem rather strange that they're following us everywhere, or maybe he just likes you a lot. And I feel like that last one would be just a tease to Reza. Hi, Doppel. So, you haven't missed much, just the opening scene here. Yeah, maybe he likes you a lot. I'm that kind of guy. I think my first run ever was that it was for our own security. Otherwise, I think it was maybe he likes you a lot. Maybe he likes you a lot. Reza is not impressed. The dice have already said that we are probably going after Bryce today, Doppel, from request, and you have otherwise only missed the giving Anna the drop of blood trigger, which we already have, so you haven't missed really all that much. We were approached by an individual who appeared to be the waitress of the cafe. She was an interesting looking dragon who, unlike the others I had seen so far, was more akin to a wyvern, possessing two rather large wings as her forelimbs, which resembled those of an oversized bat. Oh, it's the humans! So, we now have another choice. You were able to correctly identify our species based on what we look like. Congratulations! We can ask, wait, where? And also reply in kind, oh, it's a dragon! Hi, Justin! So, already the one for it's a dragon. Also for the dragon, okay. Sorry, Raven Knight. Everyone is suggesting, oh, it's a dragon! Yeah, she is nice. And it's already also teasing Reza again. He's probably just face-palming. That's a good one! Welcome to our establishment. My name's Adine, and I'll be your waitress today. What can I bring you to? Even more, yes. Alright, so what would you guys like? Would you like a coffee? Would you like some scrambled eggs with bacon? Or would you like, if you're feeling adventurous, try today's special? I believe that is, what is it? Bravery, I think it was? Yeah, there it is, Bravery. Order the daily special. Okay, so that was the daily special. Anyone else have an opinion? Coffee, eggs? Yeah, we're just annoying Reza. Alright, so 2 for the daily special. Yeah, me too, just make it quick. Yeah, the joke's on you, Reza. You're gonna have the daily special. Sure thing, 2 specials coming right up. As I was saying, if you look at the big picture, don't you think there's just something off about this whole place? Where is it, really? Alright, not a problem, Justin. Glad you're here, though. If this is supposed to be a completely separate place from Earth, or even just a different dimension, some things just don't add up. Don't you think so, too? Alright, now, I'm going to take a guess here that, with Doppel teasing Reza, it'll be... Let me grab my tinfoil hat real quick. Tinfoil hat, nailed it. Alright. Otherwise, there's notice it too, or not sure. What does Justin and Raven think? Do you also want the tinfoil hat? Do you want to not tease Reza this time? Alright, not a problem, Doppel. What was picked? Yes, today's special. And we have also now just picked the tinfoil hat. I've been here much longer than you have been. Maybe you'll see him soon enough. Can't really say much more with you-know-who over there. He's probably listening to us right now. So, back to Maverick. Is he a charming fellow? Does he not seem so bad to us? Or what a creep? I don't know, which one would tease Reza more? Would probably be one of the first 2. I just can't tell which one would be more of a tease. Okay, Justin wants to say Maverick's not so bad. I would actually agree. Honestly, 3. Okay. Not sure which one Doppel is going to want. So I've rolled some dice, and I'm going to give Doppel a moment just to get back. And the dice have already been rolled, so it's... Yeah, I'm just curious what Doppel's gonna pick right now. I already know what the dice are gonna say to whatever it, almost whatever it is Doppel would pick. Reza already doesn't look too happy, to be fair. Right, so the dice have already, otherwise suggested, what a creep in favor of Raven. When I let my gaze wander, I saw that Maverick was looking in my direction. Our eyes met briefly, his expression not showing any discernible emotion, while I wondered whether it had been a coincidence or if he really was able to hear us from the distance. I do have some theories, and if I'm right, we might be in trouble. What kind of trouble? What are you talking about? Shh! Be quiet. I'll let you know more as soon as I can, but for now, let's just play along. After all, we already have one of these babies. He patted the generator's box for emphasis. God knows we need them. Oh, here she comes. The female returned, astounding me with her ability to balance the dishes on the edges of her wings. She placed her forelimbs on the table and proceeded to move the dishes from her wings with a gentle push of her snout. Nope. Full screen that by accident. Lost the video for a second. Let me see. We'll capture second one. Okay, I seem to have screwed this up. Oh! Oh, there we go, okay. Something with surfaces, I guess. And OBS. Push for snout. There you go. Watch out, it's hot. Oh, and now I also have an FPS counter of OBS in the bottom right. Alright, so it's dropped down to 5 frames per second. I guess that's not a problem since it's not doing much, and that would be smart to limit the frames. That would probably also explain why it's not refreshing in OBS immediately. Alright, so quick note for anyone who's using OBS and Angels with Scaly Wings, I accidentally hit F and that toggled full screen. There you go, watch out, it's hot. Alright, so is this thanks? And I know Doppler is not going to say now shoo Scaly Face, or say nothing. Yeah, I had a feeling Doppler would say thanks. Absolutely not now shoo Scaly Face. Okay, so Raven wants to say nothing. Ooh, okay. The dice are hard in favor for Raven. Apparently, today's special consisted of an odd-looking fish of some sort. I was a little hesitant to try it, but considering the steam coming from it, it was probably better to wait a few minutes anyways. When the waitress brought out meals to the two dragons across the when the waitress brought the meals to the two dragons across the cafe and exchanged a few words with them, Reza leaned forward and whispered something to me. I'll send you a letter with a coded message later. You'll know what to do. Reza rose from his seat before he made it known to me that he still had a few things to do and left the restaurant, followed shortly after by the larger of the two dragons. But you haven't touched your fish. I wasn't in a hurry, so I spent a few more minutes in contemplation while I looked out the window. Not that this whole situation was already bizarre enough, there was also now the vague sense of danger conveyed by Reza's earlier words. I did not even have an idea what kind of threat might be lurking out there. Eventually, I took a bite of my somewhat unusual breakfast, While I already thought the smell was quite peculiar, the taste had been even worse. I imagined it might be the kind of delicacy that had an acquired taste, one that I certainly hadn't acquired yet. I decided to go outside before it was too late. Are you done? Sure am. How'd you like it? I'll just say it was probably not for me. And you wouldn't be the only one to say that. You better wait outside just in case it decides to come up again. Sure thing. Probably wasn't for me. I'm not one for fish myself. I stepped outside, taking in the scenery of the strange, unfamiliar world. Oh, and this is the main menu music, I just realized. In the short time I was here, I had already found the similarities between their world and our own utterly fascinating. After all, we were already talking about an unmapped place, with a never-before-seen form of life. As far as discoveries were concerned, even something as simple as a few unicellular organisms or even bacteria would have been remarkable. I don't have fish myself, really. I can barely stand them, so I would not even know myself. Yet here I was, standing in the middle of a village, evidently built by this race of intelligent talking dragons, with a society not unlike our own. Reza didn't seem to share the same interests, and instead was more smitten with the generator. But given our reasons for coming here in the first place, I couldn't blame him for his enthusiasm being focused on something else. The theory that Reza mentioned was I have never heard of Chicxulub before. I'm going to have to say no, based off of all I can guess. My thoughts were interrupted as something suddenly zipped past me just a little too close, causing me to stumble back. It was a rather small dragon with a bag clamped in its maw, who apparently had somewhere to be. Oh, the meteor. Yes, so for spoilers, kind of already too late. And pause. Yes, it is the meteor. I regained my footing and watched as it disappeared into the distance. Even though I had seen enough dragons to recognize their variation in size, color, and other attributes, I guessed this one must have been a juvenile of its species. Shortly afterwards, Sebastian joined me outside, having taken care of the tab. I gave her a generous tip on your behalf. I hope you don't mind. Yeah, I think... was it even chapter 3 to 4 after you finished the investigations? How nice of you. Alright. Raven, Justin, if you're still around, do you have a alternative preference? Of course, not as long as you don't have to pay, alright. Okay, the dice say as long as I don't have to pay. Don't worry about it. In any case, now that you've given us the PDAs and Reza has the generator, you're free for the day. So if you want to go anywhere in particular, let me know, or I could show you around town. I was tempted to be given a tour, but considering Reza's words, I wanted to be careful not to stray too far without knowing more about this world first. I think I'll stay home for today. I still have to get used to everything, you know? I'll just accompany you back then. There we are. Home sweet home, for now at least. Well, if you need anything, I'll wait outside until my shift ends. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks. See you tomorrow. See ya. I hadn't really looked at the apartment much, so I spent the rest of the day investigating it and relaxing. I considered checking out some of the phone numbers Remy had left me, but I thought it was better to keep a low profile for now. I found the kitchen was fully stocked with plenty of groceries, though the variety was wasted on me. I hadn't been a particularly great cook in the first place. What was more, I didn't even recognize some of the things I found there. Whether these were edible edibles that we had back home that I just didn't know about, or something completely alien, I wasn't sure. But I didn't even want to take the risk of eating anything I didn't know. After all, it was possible that some of the comestibles? I don't actually know that word. Might be fine for them to eat, but still poisonous to us. I was also about to find a shelf was filled to the brim with a variety of books. While I found the subject matter, man, myth, or reality, to be quite intriguing, I had to give it up after a few pages due to the exceptionally dry writing style, which I wasn't inclined to enjoy at the moment. In the end, I settled for an adventure novel about a dragon archaeologist who stumbles upon the remains of a long-lost human civilization, after which she is hunted by an evil organization who wants to use the found magical artifacts for its own nefarious purposes. While entertaining, I had to admit, it reminded me a little too much of the trashy novels we had back home. I certainly found it amusing that certain tropes were not really unique to us as a species, but I wondered whether this kind of literature had fallen into disfavor as it had back home where I came from. I was reading a particularly exciting scene in which the hero, Sheridan, uses one of the magical artifacts shaped like a pair of human hands holding a scepter with a globe at the top to prevent herself from being crushed and ground into a bloody pulp by an ancient human temple's moving walls when I suddenly heard the doorbell ring. Hello there, would you sign here? I'm not signing away my rights with this, am I? I've got a letter for you that requires signature confirmation. I see. Looking over the clipboard the small dragon was holding up to me, I saw that the sender of the letter in question was Reza. There you go. I'm Lorem, by the way. Would you mind if I asked you a few questions? What's this about? I'm just making small talk. Wait a minute. I recognize you. You tried to do the same thing with Reza. Maybe I should report you to your superiors for inappropriate behavior towards your clients. Small boy, yes. But it's important. Please? Just let me talk to Cabbage for a few minutes. You know how it is. If you want an interview with one of the humans, you'll have to get permission from the proper authorities. Help me out here, Cabbage. As an ambassador, you care about the accurate portrayal of humans in the media, don't you? Then you should talk to me, otherwise someone else will fill in the blanks, and who knows what they will come up with. Let me show you something. The small dragon opened his bag, rummaging through a number of letters and small packages. Huh, I think I lost it. Anyway, I wanted to show you some pictures of what people think humans look like. On some of them, they have like 4 heads and look nothing like you. It's crazy. What are you, Lorem, a reporter? No, I'm just... Do you want me to remove him, Cabbage? Is what he's saying true? Yeah, I guess. I see. That sounds pretty interesting, though. Alright, you can leave your number here, and maybe I'll call you later. But that's all I can promise. Thank you. Thank you so much! He quickly produced a small sheet of paper and scribbled his number on it. Afterwards, he sheepishly presented it with both hands. Alright, you got what you wanted. Off you go now. Wait, I've got to put text-to-speech on again.
Self-voicing enabled. Lorem. Self-voicing disabled.
Text-to-speech. It's the best. Sorry about that. Sorry, not sorry. Don't worry about it. And that's the reason it's so great, it's because of how terrible it is. I guess that should be all. I'll see you tomorrow then. Right. With the commotion, I had almost forgotten I was still holding Rez's letter. With the plain envelope, it was similarly plain sheet of paper with his handwriting. When I started reading, however, I saw that his wording was so full of pleasantries I knew he hated, that I assumed every word of it was faked to conceal its true intent. He did mention I didn't know what to do, but I was unsure of how I was supposed to decode the letter's secret message. I didn't remember ever having a conversation about this topic with him, yet he still relied on me to remember whatever it was that I was missing. Or he thought I would just be able to figure it out on my own. This is what it said. Hello, my dear friend. I hope this letter reaches you swiftly and in good condition. Unfortunately, we were not able to catch up earlier, so I wanted to write you this letter. How have you been these last few years? What have you been doing? How is the family? I feel like there's so much that we should talk about, since we have not seen each other much recently. At least, we have a chance to do so in this form. Quite an exciting venture we are on now, right? How have you liked it here so far? Made any dragon friends yet? Haha! Anyways, I'll be looking forward to your reply soon. Best regards, Reza. Various things came to mind. Only reading certain words or letters was one that I thought of immediately, but I couldn't make out anything after trying to find a system within its arrays of letters and lines. Maybe I had to look more carefully. Alright, so myself and Doppel do know how to decode this, so in the essence of we could save time and I could just go straight to the answer, or if Raven wants to give it a try, I'll let Raven give it a try. Save time? Yeah, I generally... No, I haven't generally. I think I've done it once or twice, doing, I think it was like read between the lines, because it's just funny when it... You do this! Wait, no, that's not it. Yeah, what's this? No, maybe you should start giving up. I'm sure if the answer was here, you'd have found it by now. No, I try this! No, the answer's not here. Try something else. 2. Read between the lines? Alright. Lines, of course! Maybe I'm supposed to read between them? I didn't even have an implement on me with which I could have been able to read fine print, though with his handwritten letter, I doubted Reza could have done anything of the sort. Oh, okay, so... no reading between the lines. Yeah, I think I know its meaning is one of the best. Spam 1? Alright. After looking at it for a while, I came to the conclusion that the secret message said that Reza wanted me to plan Sebastian's murder, do nothing while he figures out what to do, find out about their government, flee through the portal as soon as possible, have a pizza party, steal a certain book from the library, find out where Maverick lives, or break into the manufacturing plant. Do you just want to read them all, Raven? I also like that opposed to every other option, the first one is just flat out plan Sebastian's murder. Alright, read them all. Sebastian's murder. No, that's not it. Do nothing while he figures out what to do. That's not it either. Find out more about their government. Now we're just guessing and hoping to get lucky. Flee through the portal as soon as possible. I don't feel like any of these options is actually right. Have a pizza party. And of course, have a pizza party, the least harmful on the next page. Why am I even still doing this? Steal a certain book from the library. I have now reached the point where, statistically speaking, I should have gotten the right one. Either I'm just exceptionally bad at guessing, or I should start looking elsewhere. I just like the hints where it's trying to tell you, look elsewhere! Look elsewhere! There's a 50-50 chance, but then the right answer wasn't there to begin with. Break into the manufacturing plant. Okay, this was the last option and it was still wrong. If that's not enough to prompt me to finally start looking elsewhere, I don't know what else will. Alright, so show more options. Okay, so I don't know how to decode it. Look elsewhere for hints. Or maybe he referred to the fact that we were both given an apartment, considering the things they provided for us. Maybe I just had to find the right object to decode the message. There were many everyday items here, though of course I still had no idea what in particular I was looking for. Alright, so for the purposes of Raven, do you want to look at the bookshelf? Do you want to look in the bathroom? Or do you want to look in the kitchen? I did choose I'm unable to decode the message. It takes you out of the letter so that you can try something else. Right, you want to look in the bathroom? Alright, so here's the bathroom. And we can look in the cabinet or look in the shower. Okay, look in the cabinet. No razors. There are some pain meds though. Do you want to take some? Are you feeling a headache, maybe? These are dragon medications, so it would have to be a dragon-sized head migraine, I guess? I remember doing this the first time with Doppel. Alright, let's take some. I'm not sure if this is a good idea, but here we go. Alright. Now we can still take some more if you want. Do you want to spam take more? Take them all, alright. Again? Alright. I'm feeling strange. I suppose one more canter. Yeah, of course, one more. Canter because they're pain meds. That's gotta hurt. How long was I gone? And why did I think eating a whole bottle of pain medication would somehow help with my search? Alright, you can look in the shower if you want, Raven. If not, there's still the bookshelf and the kitchen options. Oh, and for your reference, that taking the medications would also give you the achievement description. Take a dragon dose of medication. I was not expecting that, no, so look in the shower. I still thought I would give you the option. Ha! No shampoo to be found anywhere, of course, and no hint either. Just some body wash. Alright, so that's all we can do there, so now we can, well, we could look in the bathroom again, but there's nothing there. We could look at the bookshelf, or we could look at the kitchen. Alright, look in the kitchen. Do you want to look in the fridge, or do you want to look in the pantry? Fridge? Alright. I'm assuming from that, look at the meat, I assume? I assume that's what you're going to want me to look at, since it does not say chicken. So I'll just hit that ahead of time while you... Do you want to look at everything, or was it just the meat? Which, it's a slab of meat, nothing special about it. Check them all, alright. Look at the milk. Pasteurize. At least they've not gone down. Sorry, at least they've got that down. Crack open an egg and look inside. Nope, just a regular egg. Nope, just a regular egg. 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 Huh, those were all of them. I guess I just wasted a perfectly good batch of eggs. Well, Raven. And examine an unlabeled container. It's an unlabeled container with some sort of white liquid inside. Here goes nothing. It's salty. Alright, so for those two, real quick, you get Overside for opening all 8 eggs, I was just counting, and Daredevil to drink the mysterious liquid. Food waste, yes. Alright, so we can go, plenty something there, but okay, so we've already looked in the fridge. That means that we can look in the pantry, if you want to look in the pantry. Pantry? Okay. Just some fruits and veggies here. Same as last time, look through everything, or do you have something specific to look at? Look at all of it? Alright. A date. If I put it on the floor and then step on it, what would happen? I'd be going on a date. But no, there's no hint here. Fig. What do I know about figs? Quite a bit, actually. Figs are ripe with history and still enjoy some cultural significance, especially in religious circles. For example, they are the leaves with which Adam and Eve covered themselves up in the Bible's Book of Genesis. It also happens to be the kind of tree Buddha attached enlightenment under. Not only that, but it's also mentioned in Greek mythology. Isn't that fascinating? But wait, there's more! The influence of figs also extends towards words, phrases, and sayings that we still use today. Take the word sycophant, for example, which comes from the Greek expression meaning someone who shows the fig, which was a vulgar gesture at the time, or I don't give a fig, which of course is a figure of speech. It might as well be said that the influence of figs is as far-reaching as the fruit is succulent. Figuratively speaking, that is. I'm afraid nothing is actually helps with Prez's letter, though. Okay then. Pear. There are 2 of them. What a nice pair. Grape. So, Daddy Grape finds this kid crying and asks, "What's wrong, kid?" But through all the tears, the kid couldn't get a single word out. Eventually, Daddy had enough, so he said, "Stop, wait. No, I won't say it. It wasn't a good joke anyways." And finally, lemon. Lemons, 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 of course! Why didn't I realize it sooner? Lemon juice is about the simplest way to write a hidden message using household items. We learned about that in chemistry. The most boring detail, of course, a message written in lemon juice on paper becomes just about invisible to the naked eye when dried. But after heating it gently, oxidization occurs, making the message visible. I was sitting next to him in class when we learned that. He made jokes about using the method to cheat on the next test, and I replied to him by saying that he'd have to bring an iron. Had he really expected me to remember a random chemistry class that happened years ago? But then, I did remember it after all. Meet me at the portal, tonight, 10 p.m., was all the message said. I wasted a good amount of time, but I still had enough time left before I had to go to meet Reza. So I decided to make some lunch. I could have made some scrambled eggs if I hadn't broken them all earlier. Afterwards, I resumed reading my book about the continuing adventures of Sheridan and her exploits in destroying cultural artifacts. Unsurprisingly, it came to a happy end, and the evil organization stopped in its tracks, at least for now. I thought the ending was deliberately left open for ambiguity, but when I turned the page and saw the advertisement for the next entry in its apparently long-running series of books, I realized all this had just been a ploy to set up the inevitable sequel. Yes. Luckily, the disappointment didn't last long, as I had to get going to meet Reza at the portal. When I got outside, it didn't seem quite as dark as it had been when I arrived yesterday. I might have had difficulties finding my way otherwise, but I could still see the portal in the distance. As I was walking, I wondered if anyone was following me, but the land seemed oddly deserted. Was everyone already asleep? Eventually, I arrived at my destination. Rez was already standing idly by the portal, his fidgeting making it obvious that he had waited just for me. I was already wondering whether you'd get here at all. So, Reza. Well, everyone actually. Guess we did. What did he expect? Or, well, he didn't make it easy. He didn't make it easy? Alright. Is Doppel or Justin still around? Alright, he did not make it easy. And, it's not really easy to see Reza, but he's still actually smiling, even if he's having that, moment again. I had to break a whole batch of eggs trying to figure it out. You didn't make it easy! What a wonderful night it is! Yeah, I could just imagine Reza going, Just look up at the stars. You can see them so clearly here, without all the pollution lingering in the air like back home. Almost as if we were looking right into the face of eternity itself. For so long, humanity thought we'd find aliens out there. Yet after all these years, we found we were still alone in the universe. Turns out, we were just not looking in the right place. What's going on here, Reza? Why did you call me here, at this time? For one, because we're sending the generator home. Right before I was sent here, they told me that they would limit the use of the portal as they couldn't afford to keep it open all the time. In order to keep contact with us, and to enable us to send things over to them, the portal would only be open for a quarter of an hour each day. Sending something back home wasn't really problematic for us, since the high energy expenditure associated with sending bigger objects was only affected by the sender, not the receiver. However, this also meant that until all business was concluded in regards to our trade with the PDAs and the generators, we were basically stuck here. As for the others, do you know what this place is? Why, yes I do. You said something about trouble. How much danger are we in, really? More than enough, I'm afraid. This whole place will be gone soon, and we better not be here when it happens. Alright, so, do we already know? What is he talking about? Or, spit it out, man! Alright, so, spit it out. It's a new option? Alright. Okay, spit it out, so say the dice. Stop talking so much, damn it. I hoped you'd see it too, but then it took me a while to understand, and I had a head start on you in any case. While he was speaking, my gaze wandered and fixed on some movement nearby. It was hard to make out anything, but I imagined it might have just been the wind blowing through the nearby shrubbery, except for the fact that there was no wind. Reza, this might take a while to explain, but we've got the whole night. Reza, look. He turned around to face whatever I was seeing. He squinted hard before he called out. You! How dare you follow me, even here? The disturbance came closer until it all became clear that it was Maverick who had been hidden nearby to listen in on our conversation. I knew you were up to no good. What are you talking about? What are you planning here? Some kind of attack? Wait a minute, there is no reason for... Don't even try to deny it. I heard you both talking about it in the cafe, and I saw the letter. You think I couldn't smell the lemon on it? Pathetic. You'll still come to me, with me, to the police station now, both of you. Come on, I think you're over... Oh, okay. Reza, what are you doing? Come on, Cabbage, let's get out of here. In the dragon's side, I could see the wound where the bullet had penetrated his hide, a trickle of blood staining his dark scales and the earth beneath. Reza used the opportunity to run off in some direction. I wasn't sure which. I frantically scanned my surroundings, looking for Reza, though he had already vanished into the darkness. What was I supposed to do? Run away as well? Help Maverick? I was just a diplomat, and I had no idea what was happening. Suddenly, the dragon whipped around, hitting me in the gut with his thick tail. I was lifted off the ground briefly before I felt the impact of my body hitting the ground, hard enough that my vision blurred almost immediately. A deafening roar battered my ears. Was this his cry for help? I could barely move, yet I found it better not to try, as to not startle the wounded dragon more than he already was. It certainly wouldn't have ended badly for me if he tried anything. I heard him take a few unsure steps before he lay down on the ground, panting. I'm still watching you, you know, and you better not move, for your own good. If I have to get up again and come after you in this condition, I can promise you I won't be nice. It took a few minutes of listening to his labored breathing before someone arrived. It was 2 dragons. The first one I recognized as Sebastian. The other one I didn't know. Yet. I heard Sebastian and Maverick exchange a few words when the stocky fellow approached me. Hey kid, you alright? Are we still feeling a little dizzy, or do we think we're alright? Keep in mind, we took a full bottle of pain medication. I imagine we might be feeling dizzy from the pain medication. Still feeling dizzy? Alright. You don't take a overdose and take a hit to the gut every day. We was prepared for this. I'm Bryce, the chief of the police in this town. Can you tell me what happened? Are we unsure? Was it that Reza shot Maverick and ran off? Or was it that Maverick followed us here and tried to apprehend us? Alright, you want to say that Reza shot Maverick and ran off? That's what I would say too. Okay. Is that so? His face was stern and seemingly lost in thought as I overheard Sebastian's conversation. Yeah, but you're the only player on duty. We probably won't find him now. Not here in the darkness, at any rate. Well, that's just brilliant. What do you think, Chief? Cabbage, can you walk? Yeah, I think so. Alright, Sebastian, take Cabbage to the apartment. Get some help here for Maverick, and then we'll look for Reza. Right on. Come on, Cabbage, I'll help you out. I was still shaken up by the events I had just witnessed when I arrived at my apartment. Not knowing anything better to do, I soon fell into a deep slumber. Alright, so for the purposes of time, I'll be wrapping up with the first investigation here, and then I'll give it a save and end the stream, as Doppel is going to be streaming himself in about 30 minutes. The next day I awoke with many questions lingering in my head. I considered calling someone from the police department to ask about Reza and Maverick, but in the end I decided against doing it so, as I was sure they would contact me if they had anything to tell me. I knew that it was no use worrying about it for now, so I settled on starting another book. It didn't take very long, though, before the doorbell rang. Yeah, it is very slow because, yeah, I'm not skipping today. I know Raven hasn't seen a lot of Angels with Scaly Wings, so I want to allow him to catch up. I could do more often. I tend to be pretty busy though. If it does happen to come up, I'll let everyone know. A day in advance or something. It probably wouldn't be Angels with Scaly Wings until next week though. Did Bryce, the Chief of Police... What? Before the doorbell rang... Did Bryce, the Chief of Police, take it upon himself to escort me today? Oh, okay. Oh, it's you again. Are you surprised? No, but I guess it'll mean bad news. Afraid so. How are you holding up? Better than yesterday, that's for sure. Let's go for a walk then, shall we? Sure. This time I was taken along a different route than yesterday, and I was quite sure there was more to this than just taking a walk. I'll just go ahead and guess you didn't find Rezo. Yeah, we hoped he would come back on his own by now. Do you have any idea where he might be? Maybe he mentioned some sort of place in particular that holds some meaning to him. No, not really. We didn't get a chance to talk at all much yesterday before. There's that too. I have no idea why Rezo would have done anything like that. I had the impression that they weren't very fond of each other, but this... How is he, by the way? Oh, Maverick is doing fine, but there is plenty of blame to go around. You're right that they didn't particularly like each other. In his statement, Maverick says he suspected Rezo of planning some sort of attack. Do you know anything about that? No, he only told me something was going to happen, not that he was planning anything. At least, that's the impression I got. He's suspecting you too, by the way, that you both planned this from the beginning. No, that wouldn't make much sense. Actually, none of this is making any sense. Why would we go through all the lengths of our agreement only to jeopardize it by doing something like this? You even already have our PDAs and we don't have much to show for it yet. If we had any nefarious plans, this wouldn't have been a very good idea. You have a good point. I believe you. But from our side, we only have Maverick's word on the whole matter. After all, he was the one who spent most of the time with Rezo since he arrived here. But even then, he didn't really have any reason to follow you yesterday, and his behavior was completely out of line. I'm just glad you came out fine. If he wasn't on mandatory sick leave, he would be suspended right now. We'll have to wait until this whole thing is over before we decide what to do with him. I can assure you that this won't be taken lightly. Alright, so was this, maybe that both sides acted at the heat of the moment? Where I come from, this kind of attack would be, on a diplomat, would be classified as an act of war punishable by death? Or, I hope so. So I guess, as Bryce kind of suggested, blame on both sides on the first option, suggesting that Maverick should be punished by death, or I hope that we can just resolve it peacefully. So, Raven says that he wants Maverick dead. Poor Maverick. Alright, so one. Alright. Let's roll some dice. Alright, maybe they both acted in the heat of the moment. Our rules. We're in Canada, no less, so we don't even have the same rules that this game takes place. Maybe. We still got quite a lot on our hands, though. We have a wounded dragon and a missing human. This could lead to a diplomatic crisis. Maybe Rezo will still show up soon and we can get all this behind us. I hope so too. I really wouldn't want to jeopardize everything over this unfortunate incident. Yeah, but how about we both just keep quiet on this whole thing for now? After all, I don't think any of us wants our people panicking about this already, right? I merely nodded in agreement. Eventually, we arrived at the police station where the chief took my formal statement in regards to yesterday's events. He asked me about Reza and Maverick too, not to mention, not that I knew much about anything that preceded yesterday's events, or the mysterious catastrophe Reza had mentioned. Afterwards, he thanked me and left to file my statements, while I sat by his table, waiting and listening to the going-ons of the small provincial town police department. When he returned, he was approached by someone who seemed to have urgent news. A lot of talking between the two ensued, and I couldn't make out from my position. This went on for a bit until Bryce returned to me. Afraid I have more bad news for you. Reza has now officially become a murder suspect. Murder? We're heading to the crime scene and hoped you'd come along with us. Me? A crime scene? I don't really know much about forensics. It's just that you're the only link we have to Reza. Consider what he said would happen to us. It's all in our interest that we find him as soon as possible. And if he has anything to do with it, you might help us find him. Your cooperation would certainly be appreciated, and it would be a nice gesture to show us that you are trustworthy in the eyes of those who might think otherwise, after what happened yesterday. Alright, so you can respectfully decline him, and he'll just keep on asking you, literally until you do. I will show that. I implore you to reconsider. I suppose I'll just have to keep asking you until you change your mind. And he says so with a grin, even. So he just says that again. This is an achievement to respectfully decline Bryce 99 times. Until you only have one other option. Yeah, the way to do that is actually if you hit tab and make sure that you have skip after choices on, so you can just keep left click spamming or whatever on I respectfully decline you, and you can spam that real quick. I suppose I don't really have much choice here, but you're right. We've got to find Reza. And if that's what it takes, then I'll do it. Very well. Let us go then. On our way to the crime scene, he tried to prepare me for what would come. I had studied biology, so I was familiar with the sight of dead animals. Asking myself how similar this would be, I wondered if my reaction would be any different, if it wasn't a dragon, but a human corpse I would be seeing. When we arrived, we were met by Sebastian, who gave us an overview of the whole situation. This morning, the victim was found by a delivery flyer for the restaurant. Blood loss from multiple wounds are the likely cause of death. Forensics was already here, so feel free to poke around. A few paces in front of us, the unfortunate victim lay on the ground, covered by a sheet that concealed the body, but not a large red bloodstain beneath. We approached while Sebastian went off to deter any curious onlookers. I know it won't be pretty. I'm sorry for putting you through this, but you know what's at stake here. Just remember what I told you and you should be fine. Alright? Are you ready? I guess so, or let's just do it. How are we doing for time? We've got about 20 minutes. Let's, 2? Okay. Let's just do it. Here's the victim. Now I can do this in one of two ways. I can spam all the wrong answers to get Bryce to just sort of facepalm at us. It does have some funny dialogue, or I can just nail the investigation. So, I'll be narrating this real quick while it comes up to the first option of the choice, and you guys can answer whatever you like. So, what do you think? Just get the right ones? Alright, fair enough. He's definitely dead. Yeah, rip. Let's just say that this will be your test, and tell me what you can deduce from what you see. Give it your best shot. Alright, so, give it your best shot. 2 wings, 2 legs, just like the waitress in the cafe. About as big as a human, lengthwise, if not slightly taller. The wingspan certainly would look impressive at that size. The wounds are kinda hard to miss. True, but what are they telling you? They're inflicted with a sharp implement. They're clean cuts, like from a knife or a sharpened instrument. That's true, but why does it matter? I don't think it couldn't have been Reza. Dragons don't... It could only have been someone with hands. That's right. Only those of us who walk on 2 legs have the proper dexterity to wield a knife effectively. Most other dragons would probably just fight instead. Of course, this rules out most of the bigger dragons and flyers. But then this Reza still has his... What was it called again? You mean his gun? Yeah, if it was him, why would he kill someone with a knife rather than just use his gun on him? Because he doesn't want to make any noise. After all, he ran away from Maverick, trying to hide from the police. Something as loud as a gunshot would have easily given him away his position and alerted others to the area. Yeah, it gets better. Right, that could be a good reason. By the way, which wound do you think was the lethal one? The one in his neck. That's right. If all the blood wasn't just a giveaway from the stab wounds characterized by the rather small footprints, you can tell that it was also the deepest one. And from the location, it's pretty obvious this must have done tremendous damage. Not terrible, terrible damage. What else do you see? Well, there's a lot of blood. The blood splatter suggests that he died here. Else, there wouldn't have been a trail we could follow. The splatters also suggest this is where they fought. That is true. Unfortunately, it doesn't help us determining who the perpetrator is. Objection! Excuse me? Sorry, I just always wanted to say that. Go on, please. What about the blood on his muzzle? You tell me. He's a vampire. He fought back. It might be the perpetrator's blood. Yes, that is true. I expect the forensics already took a sample of it, so it might actually might help us determine who the perpetrator is. Yes, it is. There are many references in this game. I think that's about everything. You know what, kid? I'm impressed. Maybe we should have you around more often. Hey, Chief, do you still need the witness here for anything? Sebastian approached with the dragon who had discovered the body earlier. I recognized her as Adine, the waitress from the cafe. She seemed distraught, which given the situation, wasn't very surprising. I don't think so. Take her to the department, get her statement written up, and that should be it. Sure thing. Right, miss, we're gonna have to take you to the department. Of course. When she spotted me, however, her composure brightened visibly. Oh, it's the human! Alright, now just for the sake of time, because we are rapidly running out, I'm a human. Well, I'd call you by your name, but you never actually told me it. It's Cabbage. What are you even doing here? Do you work for our police now? Looks like it. Maybe I should be calling you Officer then. I don't think I'm quite there yet. By the way, I didn't know you also did deliveries. I do a little bit of everything, really. That's nice. I liked my, fish yesterday. You don't have to hide it. I know it's an acquired taste. To be fair, I wouldn't have recommended it to someone new like you. They could always try something different. Here's our number. If you don't want to come in and we'll deliver anything we have to you. Thanks. Sorry, I guess we should be going. Bye! What do we do now? Well, I suppose we'll head off too, unless... Oh no. What is it? We've got a violent homicide, and of course nobody from the department tells me. I have to find out from a neighbor who wanted to ask me about it. Good things rumors travel fast, eh? Ahem! Of course nobody told you. You're on sick leave. Mandatory sick leave, I might add. I'm not here in any official capacity. You see, I'm merely enjoying a curative walk in the fresh air and happened to come across you by accident. What do you want? I don't want anything. I just find it interesting that nobody tells me about this. But the prime suspect's buddy can mess with the investigation. I see how it is. I don't know what you're thinking, but don't jump to conclusions here. I don't need to jump to conclusions. I think the dead body we found says it all. You really have an attitude problem, you know. If you weren't on sick leave, you'd be suspended right now for attacking Cabbage yesterday. Do you have any idea what kind of repercussions this could have on us all? Me attack Cabbage? As far as I can see, I'm the only one who's injured here. Besides, I'm so sorry for apparently being the only one doing his job. Right, let's just all sit idly by while the suspect's on the loose and planning his next move. You know, whatever it is Reza was talking about, he was going to tell me just before you showed up yesterday. I don't need to hear from you, of all people, belittling me about this. What's your problem? If anything, I want to find him as much as you do. Don't compare yourself to me. Your words mean nothing. Enough! You shouldn't even be here, so you better go now and get some rest before I have to take disciplinary action. Fine, but when we do find him, you'll see I was right. If I have to prove it to myself, so be it. Prove it myself, sir. Can he even just do his own investigation like that? Well, as long as he doesn't interfere with us, we can't really stop him from doing things in his own free time. I see. I suspect he won't adhere to the standards of performing an unbiased investigation, though. He has already made up his mind. It's clear to me he won't be looking for facts, just for evidence to support his own view in order to prove it to us or himself. Who knows? He's always been like that. Always something to prove. We'll have to be careful. He'll be looking for Reza soon enough. I do generally feel sympathetic for him in the first place. I think because I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt and tried to... Please be my friend. That was my initial attitude towards him, so I was just trying to be kind to him, and you know, I'm not trying to be your enemy. So to be fair, I might have given it a shot. Let's hope we find Reza before. Let's hope we find him before Reza. Find Reza before he does. Yeah. Don't worry, Reza will turn up eventually. Oh, okay, yeah, I can go back there, I believe. No, I can't. Can I load real quick? Yes, I can. I would too if I was shot. Yeah, and that's exactly why he wouldn't be on the case if he wasn't on sick leave. Don't worry, Reza will turn up eventually. I surely hope so. All things considered, I had to admit that it remained a possibility that Maverick was right. But could the Reza I knew really be the murderer? You know what? If you think of something that might help with the investigation, or if you need something else, just call me. I will. Well, I think we're done here. Let's go. Bryce led me back to the apartment. I guess there wasn't really much for me to do in the meantime, as I was spared the more arduous part of the investigation. Maybe I should be glad about this, though now I had an afternoon to fill. Alright, so I will be making my save right here and ending the stream, because Doppel is streaming in 10 minutes, so I'm kind of giving you a hot setup here. I will probably be missing the first bit of it though, Doppel, I'm afraid. So that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you guys again next time for supposedly some Bryce. Have some votes for Bryce and Adine, but that could change next week, and the dice have already suggested to go with Bryce so far. Doppel is saying 2. Oh, is that for the investigation back there, Doppel? I know that YouTube is going to be a little bit behind for me as well, but that far behind, wow. Alright, so I hope everyone enjoyed. We'll see you guys again next time, and I hope you have a good day.